like that 17-year-old girl on stage when he
there's no explaining this away. I'm sorry, it's just not. You were absolutely on one when you did that.
How old are you?
Oh my god, bro, no way. Yeah.
Racist against rappers, they all look the same to him. They used to beg him not to egg him on Halloween. You told him holler back with the suede Pumas, dollar green. Nah, I mean, heat it up till the temperature tarball. Y'all just gawk like gargoyle.
Alright, do not let the TikTok ban distract you from the fact that Drake is going out sad. And from what I've understood, I haven't deep dived into it yet, so I don't know too much, but from what I understand, Drake is suing UMG because he's claiming that the numbers were pumped, inflated, faked. There's no way that song could be that popular. And then on top of that, he's also name dropping React streamers in this lawsuit. This is insane. So we gonna hear what Blackie got to say. He's gonna break it down for us. I wish I could put up a corn meter, but I'm not gonna feel like editing like that, so I'm just gonna be honest.
Now, Drake has just launched an explosive lawsuit against Universal Music Group, the world's biggest record label, over Kendrick Lamar's diss track, Not Like Us. In this video, we're diving into the latest update on the story, what's been happening in the lawsuit, and what it all means for Drake, UMG, and Kendrick Lamar. A few weeks ago, we covered the ongoing feud between Drake and Universal Music Group. In that video, we talked about Drake accusing UMG and Spotify of artificially inflating the streaming numbers for Kendrick Lamar's diss track.
Which is crazy because I promise you, all of the songs that get inflated and boosted all the time, and now nobody has filed a lawsuit about it. Now you want to file a lawsuit against the diss track, bro? Come on, man. You're acting like they never inflated none of your songs. Come on.
Not Like Us. As you of course might know, the track was the centerpiece of the beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake, and it was such a massive moment in hip-hop that it overshadowed everything else in their feud, breaking records and becoming one of the fastest growing rap songs, actually songs, in history. And now, as of the other day, Drake has officially filed an 81-page defamatory lawsuit against Universal Music Group, claiming that Kendrick Lamar's song, Not Like Us, pushed defamatory statements against him. Now, this story is very wild.
Interesting. But why would you sue UMG and not Kendrick for that, though?
Not only because it involves one of the biggest artists in the world, but also because Drake is going head-to-head with Universal Music Group, the biggest record label in the industry, a label he's been in bed with for some time now. I want to go over the meat and potatoes of this particular lawsuit. The lawsuit starts with what happened at Drake's Toronto home on May 7, 2024. Late at night, a group of armed attackers drove up to his house while he and his family were inside. The attackers stopped their car in front of the property, shouted F Drake, and started shooting. One bullet.
Yeah, them niggas who did that, they need to get locked up and slapped, bro, because this was ridiculous. Like, why would you do this?
Hit Drake's front door after passing through the security gate, and another struck a security guard, who also happens to be one of Drake's closest friends. While waiting nearly 30 minutes for an ambulance to arrive, Drake and others in the house worked to keep the guard alive by applying pressure to his gunshot wounds with towels. Fortunately, the guard survived after being rushed to the hospital, but the situation left Drake shaken up, as the lawsuit says. After the security guard was rushed to the hospital, doctors worked to remove the bullets, stop the bleeding, and save his life.
Look, the beef between Kendrick and Drake, bro, until I get solid proof that Drake really was a kid diddler, you know what I'm saying, I don't think none of this was necessary.
It took days for him to stabilize, and thankfully he survived. Now, the lawsuit continues with more incidents that apparently put Drake in danger. Just one day later, on May 8, 2024, things escalated once again. An intruder used his bare hands to dig a hole under the security fence surrounding Drake's property. He managed to get through, but was stopped by Drake's security team before causing harm.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I don't think you could even blame UMG for that. That was somebody who was gonna get in regardless. That's a different type of dedication. Like, that nigga was gonna break into your house regardless of whatever was happening in the cultural zeitgeist.
Even so, the lawsuit states that the man shouted racial slurs and threats at Drake before being escorted off the property.
Yeah, he might have just been a tweaker. I ain't gonna lie.
And if that wasn't enough, another break-in attempt happened the following day on May 9, 2024. According to Drake, these back-to-back incidents weren't coincidences. They were triggered by UMG's actions just days later. And this is when we move on to the next part, where the lawsuit reveals why all this happened, supposedly. Drake's legal team states that UMG, the world's largest music company and his label for over a decade, is at the center of this entire thing. Just days earlier, on May 4, 2024, UMG approved and launched a campaign to make a viral hit out of a track, accusing Drake of being a pedophile and even called for violent retribution against him.
Oh my goodness. Kendrick did quite literally say niggas like him should die. Like, they, word for word, bar for bar, he said niggas like him should die. So
the song in question is, of course, Not Like Us. Despite knowing the claims were false, the lawsuit states that UMG allegedly chose profit over protecting their own artists. The lawsuit accuses the label of enriching itself and its shareholders by exploiting Drake's name while ignoring the safety risks.
Okay, so if Drake wins this lawsuit, that pretty much clears his name. That'll pretty much clear his name. So I understand why he's doing it.
After the violent incidents on May 7 and May 8, UMG reportedly continued to promote the track.
But to say that that UMG like got together and said, yes, let's call this nigga a predator, I don't know about that one, buddy. I don't know how you're gonna prove that, but if you can, I'm gonna be shocked.
Which further contributed to hate and vitriol directed at Drake. The lawsuit then dives into the heart of the controversy. Not Like Us, written and performed by Kendrick Lamar, which all of us, of course, have heard. According to Drake's legal team, this track wasn't just a diss, it was a direct and dangerous attack. But it doesn't stop there. The lyrics were packed with accusations calling Drake a certified pedophile and a predator who should be placed on neighborhood watch. On top of
Kendrick didn't care. Kendrick didn't care.
That, the album artwork added fuel to the fire. It featured a depiction of Drake's Toronto home, marked with icons commonly used.
Okay, it's like, yeah. it's like, no matter what you think about the beef, like, he did call him a predator and a pedophile, and he did literally put a picture of his house as the cover art of the diss track with a bunch of the predator icons. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, if there's provable physical evidence that Drake is not a predator, they're cooked. That's all I'm gonna say.
Used by law enforcement
because this was crazy,
and public safety apps to signal the residence of child sex offenders.
It's safe to say Kendrick absolutely crashed out on this song.
If the lyrics and artwork weren't even enough, the music video took things even further. It paired visuals and hopscotch references to sex trafficking with some very memorable lines from the song, like trying to strike a chord and it's probably
A minor.
My whole career I was pretty much bald, so people just got to know me as being a bald guy. I did wonder what it would be like if I could
I give a damn.
Took things even further. It paired visuals and hopscotch references to sex trafficking with some very memorable lines from the song, like trying to strike a chord and it's
probably A minor.
And by the way, all this is them essentially describing how Kendrick absolutely violated Drake on Not Like Us, right? According to the lawsuit, this was all part of a coordinated effort to push a malicious and false narrative that put Drake's reputation and his safety on the line. So I think you're on board now and understand why Drake filed this lawsuit.
Yeah.
They're saying that the song...
Real talk, if Drake is innocent for real, like, he actually hasn't diddled, like, because he does have a lot of eyebrow-raising moments. Like, I'm not going to deny that, but if Drake really hasn't done, like, at least even half of the stuff Kendrick said, he's got a pretty much a slam dunk case, but that's only if he's actually completely innocent. I have no idea.
Not Like Us was a calculated hit to his character, which is what a diss track is supposed to be.
Yeah, literally. Course. Yeah. Because, I mean, you kind of call Kendrick a abuser. So, I mean, I don't know, bro.
According to Drake's legal team, they're saying that Kendrick didn't just throw shade. He accused Drake of being a pedophile and a predator, as someone who should be placed on neighborhood watch, even though there's no proof that he, plays with children, right? Aside from that video with that 17-year-old girl.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's why I'm saying, like, I can't outright just say no, but you do look kind of crazy for that one, Drake, and Baca too.
On the stage, I'll get to all that stuff later, right? On this next part, the lawsuit states that this is not about Kendrick Lamar. It's entirely about the music company UMG, who decided to publish, market, and monetize the record. Now, Drake's legal team says that, he's not a pedophile, that he's never engaged in any acts that would, require him to be placed on neighborhood watch. Imagine
dissing somebody so hard they have to sue you, bro. That's Imagine dissing somebody so badly they have to literally sue your record label.
Put it like that. And that he's never did anything
brother.
inappropriate with minors, and that he's never been charged with or convicted of any criminal acts whatsoever. Now let's break this down further, because this part really shows why Drake's legal team is going after UMG. Starting in May 2024, UMG reportedly went all in on spreading the song, the visuals, and everything else associated with Not Like Us, what Drake's team calls the defamatory material. Now the reason, according to the lawsuit, money. According to the lawsuit, UMG knew how damaging and false the allegations were, but they saw it as a business opportunity. The more people who streamed, watched, or downloaded the track, the more UMG and its executives got paid. It was a win for them financially, regardless of the fallout for Drake.
I mean, yeah, that does make sense. I can understand that, but like, how are you gonna prove that they knowingly released false information? That's gonna be the heart. That's gonna be like the meat of the lawsuit. You gotta prove without a shadow of doubt that they knew that they were peddling false allegations. How are you gonna prove that?
The lawsuit also states that UMG's Interscope Records owns Kendrick Lamar's entire back catalog, and that they had recently convinced Kendrick to sign a new deal. So pushing this song as a viral hit was a way for them to prove that they could maximize his sales.
So they had him call you a pedophile as a part of his record deal? That's what you're saying? You gotta have some good evidence, man. I don't know, bro.
Essentially, they were doubling down on Kendrick's music to make him, even more valuable under their control. That's what the lawsuit says. Third, and this is where it gets real strategic, UMG allegedly had an ulterior motive when it came to Drake. His contract with the label was actually expiring, according to the lawsuit, and renewing the contract wasn't going to be cheap. So, by tarnishing Drake's reputation and devaluing his brand, UMG could position themselves to negotiate a new deal on terms that were more in their favors.
I understand the concept of that, but like, if a record label allows a diss track calling you a pedophile to get dropped, I'm pretty sure they're gonna know that you're not gonna want to stay in that label. Like, I don't know. I don't know, man. That one's kind of shaky.
So to sum it up, the lawsuit paints UMG as straight up vultures who wanted to prioritize their own interests.
Trust me, I can believe that part 100%. Like, record labels are notoriously pieces of shit. I can easily, like, that's why I'm not outright saying that this lawsuit is stupid, it doesn't make sense or whatever, because I can fully believe that the record label had some malicious intentions, but I just don't know how that's going to get proved. Like, that's all I'm saying. Over
their own artist interest. From their perspective, the destruction of Drake, if you will, wasn't just collateral damage, it was a part of their plan. Now, UMG's supposed campaign worked exactly how they intended it to work. The lawsuit says that the song Not Like Us disguised its damaging and inflammatory lyrics behind a catchy beat and hook, making it easy.
No, everybody knew exactly what that man was saying and what he was implying. It was not hidden at all.
Easy for listeners to get hooked without missing the deeper implications, which is kind of the point of a diss song. And a song in a lot.
I don't think people were misunderstanding what Kendrick was alleging. I don't think that at all.
The ways as well, right? UMG apparently took full advantage of this, using all their resources to
Drake like I'm young.
Spread the message far and wide.
Brother.
The accusation that Drake likes him young went viral almost instantly.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just rap fans who heard it. The song crossed borders and language barriers, spreading its message to hundreds of millions of people worldwide. And they're saying
that's so messed up, bro. I didn't realize it was doing well in other countries too, bro. That's crazy.
And that it became so ingrained in the cultural conversation that the accusation itself began to stick, which is a fact.
Yeah.
People started to believe it not as a song, but as a fact. And this is something I do think is interesting, because Drake has been involved in a few inappropriate instances with younger women.
Bro, no way. Yeah.
Have the inappropriate relationship with Millie Bobby Brown, on top of the countless other situations with younger women. But there's no hard evidence that he's actually, played with children, like actual children, like 10, 9.
He's got a lot of weird instances.
Whatever, right? which is the biggest reason why this lawsuit even exists in the first place. Essentially, Drake and his legal team are arguing that his own record label was wrong, okay, dead wrong, for exploiting the song that pushed a bunch of lies on his name.
Yeah.
And he's obviously felt the heat of this because we all know that Drake's reputation has plummeted.
It's definitely taking a hit. Like, financially speaking, bro, he's going to be all right. But, yeah, his reputation, he's become the butt of a lot of jokes. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely difficult to be a Drake fan nowadays because niggas are going to be like, really? In big 2025?
Severely ever since him and Kendrick went at each other. It absolutely damaged his reputation and brand. I mean, Not Like Us has been played basically everywhere in the last almost 8 months, right?
Yeah.
The song has over 1 billion streams on Spotify.
That's insane. I didn't know it was that many. Jesus.
After only 8 months of being out, which is insane. Would this lawsuit exist if Not Like Us didn't become so successful? Personally, I don't think so, because at that point there wouldn't be that strong of an incentive for that to happen.
Yeah. Literally, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, if Not Like Us didn't blow up as big as it did, Drake would definitely not be filing no lawsuit.
The song,
because you see how Kendrick's not filing a lawsuit against Drake, calling him a wife beater.
Didn't make the impact it made. That means that it would have not shifted any type of narrative against Drake's character. Make sense?
I have the same exact pick too. That's crazy.
Now, based on that perspective, to be fair to Kendrick, he also had a bunch of allegations against him coming from Drake. Now, one of the biggest ones was that Kendrick beat up his wife, Whitney Alford. On Drake's diss track Family Matters, he takes direct aim at Kendrick Lamar, accusing Kendrick of beating his wife and hiring a team to silence allegations of abuse. Now, to be very clear, there's no solid proof that Kendrick ever did this, but the accusations have led many people to run with the idea that Kendrick is an abuser. Now, some of this speculation ties back to Kendrick's own album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. You guys remember, on that album, Kendrick admitted to having sex with a white woman while he was in Copenhagen, Denmark. And at the time, Kendrick was, of course, married to Whitney Alford, his wife.
Yeah.
But the confession sparked a lot of controversy about loyalty and the themes of his music. So Drake got fed some type of supposed information about the fact that Kendrick beats his wife for his diss, and he ran with her. Why? Well, for the same reason K-Dot called Drizzy a child diddler, even though there's no proof that he plays with, like...
I love how we're I know diddler was a word before Diddy, but it's just too perfect, bro.
Little children, right? There's also been a long-standing rumor that Kendrick has a history of violence towards women, dating back to a story from over a decade ago. Combined with what I'm about
I didn't know about that.
to share, along with Kendrick admitting to cheating on his wife, I think that's why Drake made those accusations on Family Matters.
Because it's pretty believable. Like, if you knew all of that other stuff too. I didn't know about that other stuff. That's why, like, when I heard it, I wasn't really sold on it. But, you know, now that I know he had accusations against him, you know, with the right evidence, I could easily be convinced.
Now let's go back to 2014. Just want to preface that there's no solid evidence to prove any of the stuff that I'm going to talk about, but accusations about Kendrick being involved in an incident of abuse have floated around for a while. The story goes like this. On May 3rd, 2014, security at the Hard Rock Hotel in Las Vegas responded to a young white woman who was reportedly beaten and bloodied. She supposedly pointed the finger at Kendrick, who had performed at the hotel that same day. A media outlet claimed they initially publicized the story, but things got messy pretty quickly. According to reports, a crisis management team got involved, and this is when Drake's lines come into play, right? And they allegedly put heavy pressure on this platform to take the article down, and supposedly working behind the scenes to erase any video evidence. Now,
they was on YouTube and they convinced them to delete it off of YouTube. That's the claim.
All this is speculation, and that's why Drake said what he said on Family Matters. Kendrick did respond to these claims in 2014 by saying the following.
When they said you were in Vegas and you beat some guy bloody and you did something to some female, and they said they had evidence and all of this, and then I never heard anything about it again.
Yeah, because it's foolishness. That's the most ignorant stuff I ever heard made up. And, you know, that person who ever made that up owes an apology. Not to me, but to women that actually go out there and get abused. That's not cool. It's people out there that really get abused, and there's women out there that get abused and don't say nothing.
And the video in question...
I ain't gonna lie, bro. If he is covering up, he's doing it pretty well. I'm not gonna hold you, bro.
Another person who worked at the establishment is this video right here.
I got told to go up to her room to help some girl get down to the casino because she was scared. She ends up being all bloody and everything. Half of her face was, like, blown out, pretty much. Oh, so God. I'm like, oh, lovely. And come to find out, she was with a certain rapper who had assaulted her. First name was Kendrick. Lamar? Yeah.
So there has been.
She don't really look like a believable. She don't really look all that believable, but you never know. Crazier things have happened.
First name was Kendrick. Lamar? Yeah.
So there has been accusations flying on both sides, which makes you wonder, why hasn't Kendrick filed a defamation lawsuit against Drake? Technically, he could have a case, right?
But it's because the accusations didn't really stick like that. Like, you don't hear many people talking about Kendrick being an abuser.
Now, there are two possible reasons for this. The first is that, as I mentioned earlier, these accusations against Kendrick didn't gain enough public traction. They haven't become widely recognized or impactful enough to seriously damage his reputation in the way that would warrant legal action. And number two, which I think is the more likely reason, he's taking it on the chin. No Diddy. I beefed with this guy. We both made accusations against each other, but obviously I know I came out on top, so I'm Gucci. Now, had the
yeah, that's kind of a given.
accusations Drake made against Kendrick been more believable, I think they might have probably, been able to stick, and he would have actually had a shot at damaging Kendrick's reputation. But he failed with that, because when people look at Kendrick and they think about him, they don't see him as a guy who would do something like that.
Who would hit women. Because, I don't know, Kendrick is a little dude, but them little dudes do be having some rage to them.
So this is very perception based. And also, there's no solid proof that
there's no evidence either way, but Drake does have a lot more circumstantial kind of like, what was this though? Like, there's no videos, as far as I know, there's no videos of Kendrick like boxing a woman, but there's a video of Kendrick, of Drake calling a 17-year-old thick. So that's all I'm gonna say.
He did any of this. Like, where the fuck is the surveillance footage of this?
Yeah, for real.
Now, supposedly the story is they cleaned it up. Like, they must have quote unquote deleted the surveillance footage. But if law enforcement got involved, then this would have never happened, obviously. So I'm like, where the hell is the surveillance footage? So I'm not gonna believe it until I see it.
Yeah.
Now, when people look at Drake, though, some might see him as the type to be involved in questionable situations.
It's just, I don't know, something about that face is just funny to me, bro.
PDM stuff. So it kind of makes sense why people would believe Kendrick over Drake, right? I think this lawsuit is a slippery slope because it puts an even bigger spotlight on the justice system's use of rap lyrics in criminal cases. While Drake's issues here is more about how Universal Music Group pushed and marketed the song to damage him, I believe this could still have a negative impact on hip-hop artists as a whole. For years, rappers have been fighting against the courts, using their lyrics as evidence, arguing that it unfairly targets their creative expression. But now we're seeing one of the biggest artists in the world potentially opening that can of worms. This situation could end up...
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it could set more precedent for people to start getting their lyrics used against them in court, like what happened with Thug and all of them.
Setting a dangerous precedent, making it even harder for artists to separate their art from real-life legal consequences. Another reason I think Drake filed this defamation lawsuit is that it gives him a chance to overshadow the impact of the PDF allegations.
And it gives him a chance to clear his name if he actually is able to prove his case.
In my opinion, I think this is a strategic move on Drake's end. Drake know that the accusations Kendrick made and Not Like Us can't be undone. The damage is already out there.
Yeah.
And those claims have left a mark on his reputation. So his best move to regain control of the narrative is through this lawsuit. It's not just about legal battles. It's about creating a formal response where he can outline in detail how these allegations have hurt his business and reputation.
Yeah.
In essence, the lawsuit itself becomes part of his strategy to counteract the claims and shift the focus. Overall, it's very clear why this lawsuit is a thing. I can't really blame Drake because, he's doing this for his own best interest.
Yeah.
He's looking out for himself.
Yeah, it would be crazy if he didn't try to fight against those allegations, because those things were like he was getting clowned on. Even to this day, he's still like, people still raise an eyebrow when you said Drake.
And his business and his brand, and I don't think anyone can necessarily fault him for that.
Nah.
However, we don't really have to agree with the lawsuit, right? And also, I do think there are bigger implications for specifically hip-hop, like I said, for him doing this. And that's, of course, another conversation for another day, though. Anyway, if you made it to the end, thank you guys so much for watching.
Shout out Blackie. I wanted him to touch on the part about him, like, trying to, like, attack streamers. Hold on. I think Kai Cenat made a video about it.
Alright! With this Drake that y'all are telling me about, can I see the link, please? I'm scared. What's going on, bro? Let me see what's going on. Let's get to this Drake. I don't know. Drake alleges in the lawsuit that UMG permitted content creators such as Kai Cenat, Zia's No Life Shack, RDC Gaming, and Cartier Family to monetize reactions to Not Like Us without enforcing copyright claims. He claims that the lack of enforcement enabled the spread of defamatory content.
Defamatory? Okay.
While generating profits for both UMG and the creators, prioritizing revenue over Drake's safety.
This is crazy work, bro. Wow. I never even heard of the Cartier family. But dang, even RDC? Come on, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Twitch streamer Kai Cenat posted a 20-minute video of his reaction to the recording on his YouTube channel, which has 11.6 million subscribers. The video's thumbnail depicts the image. As of the date of this filing, the video has over 9 million views. You're getting sued.
Okay, I don't think this is him getting sued. He's just being mentioned in a lawsuit.
Wait, why am I in this shit? Wait, hold on. I gotta be. What the? I'm getting sued. And then it's like I was told to stay on stream.
Yeah, Drake literally DM'd Kai and told him to react to music on stream.
That niggas is cat, bruh.
Oh, brother.
Oh, I'm good. All right. Mike.
Yeah. Oh, brother. Yeah. Drake isn't suing you, Kai. He's saying he's using y'all as examples in his lawsuit. But that's still outrageous because whenever you were dropping the diss track, you were wanting people to react to it. Let's be real, Drake. Let's be real. I don't know, bro. Yeah, that's a crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Drake is corny for including the streamers and stuff. The lawsuit makes sense. But I'm telling you, I don't know how he's gonna beat these allegations. But if he can beat them, then please, by all means, beat them, because that's a crazy label. But you never know. You never know.